Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Brent Bridgman, and you're watching the JFL Boat Build Series right here. So I'm at McFarland Park taking a lunch. I wanted to do an intro, but I mean, we were right in the middle of ripping everything up. And then this morning I had a couple appointments, one for a boat, and then I have to go Monday and look at a Corvette that the guy needs a bunch of custom fiberglass wide body stuff done to it. So maybe we'll get that job too. I don't just fix boats. I do everything fiberglass, from furniture to cars, tools, anything that has fiberglass I can fix. Airplanes, helicopter parts, carbon fiber, Kusa board, green board, hex board, anything like that that you can add resin to, or gel coat, or metal flake gel coat too. But anyway, I'm at McFarland Park. I like to come here 2 or 3 days a week. I come here and I just eat my lunch and I just watch the boats. Sometimes there's fishermen, sometimes there's not. It's just a nice relaxing place. You can always catch the YouTube Challenger here at McFarland Park 2 or 3 days a week. It's also a nice place just to kind of calm down, relax. I was on the other side of the marina, but there was some creepy guy that was dressed like a girl putting lipstick on, and
well, obviously we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows, he's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because they raping everybody out here.
He was parked way too close to the park, so I'd rather not sit around and watch any of that go down. I mean, what you do is your business, but not around kids. Kids were creeped out, freaked out. There was a mother that kept being concerned. You could tell by the way she was acting. I just don't think people like that should be sitting around a kid park. I was over there watching some fishermen fish the bridge piling, which is something I do normally, but I don't park right at the playground. I park away so I can see the pillars, and yeah, I just think it was just inappropriate. But anyway, I may cut that from the video because I don't want to lose followers, just in case you're the guy that's doing what that guy was doing. But if you are that guy, don't park by the kid park and freak everybody out. It just looks bad. And I understand it's a free country and you can do what you want, but there's lots of places where you can go put your clothing on and your makeup. Just my opinion. That's it. Let's get back into the build. We're going to head back to the shop and start ripping out all that wet foam out of the middle of the bottom of the floorboard. Let's do it. So we had a little mishap with this grinder, and could have been a lot worse than it was. Got a new microphone for the new 1 terabyte iPhone 17 Plus fancy Gigamajoid, whatever you're watching. But anyway, there's plenty of room on that phone to where I won't get the notification that there's not enough RAM or whatever. Every time you do an update on your iPhone, it takes up some of your memory. And so that's why you have to have a phone that's not connected to the server. And that's what we have here. So this phone is strictly used just for filming and uploading the videos to YouTube. But anyway, this microphone works very well. Even better than the microphones that worked on the iPhone 14 or 15. It's a 15. But anyway, this has better picture quality, 1 terabyte of memory. So we'll never have the running out of space ever again, because also I delete the videos once I upload them to YouTube, because they'll forever be on YouTube. So if I ever need to reference that video or something like that, I can always go back to YouTube. It's not like you can change it, and who would want to change it? So anyway, we started getting all of that stuff out, and I went and I made 2 purchases. So I went to Harbor Freight, and it's not like I get a discount code or anything, but I bought what I call an equalizer bar. It's made by Pittsburgh, pretty solid. And then I noticed that they had a kind of one like with a tip on the end with a handle. So I was like, well, these are going to set me back $100. So anyway, this one was $9 and this one was $11. It ended up costing me a little over $22. So, I mean, there's probably more than weight in that. So anyway, these are equalizer bars, and I will use them to pull up all of this stuff today. I'm going to start cutting, and I'm going to keep my shirt away from the grinder today. In fact, I'm going to tuck my shirt in to my pants, and that'll keep us safe. So anyway, without further ado, let's do it. We'll pull this cord over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the hull out forward, give us some room in the back. The boat is still very heavy because of the water that's in all the foam, but once we get this thing yarded, I bet there's 400 pounds of water soaked foam, to be honest. I think that's going to hit my camera. Sorry, guys. What we're trying to do is put you in a position that's not in the sun, because this phone will overheat. For those of you who didn't see the last episode, that's the cap to the boat. And of course, we got the Ranger back here. We will be momentarily finishing the engine cowling and the console. We're doing the body work right there on the front. If you see all this body work right here, all that body work. So the boat was obviously in some sort of collision in the past, and I found it when I started sanding. There were some cracks that I didn't like. All right, so we're going to back this up. So we're going to start cutting all this. In fact, I might go with a wide angle, and then we will do some time lapse. There we go. And then you guys will see me, as you can see on the ground right here. This is a lot of it. This is a lot of it. But by the time I get done, this will be all stacked up, and then we'll run a video across here. We'll do a cinematic view. Having fun with the editing. Bear with me. Let me pull this forward. The reason it won't move forward is because of all the junk that's underneath it. I see. All right, here we go. Need to pull it to the side a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. Now we can get to work. Let me see if you're in the frame. We're going to go into a time lapse. The new building will be ready November 1st. We'll be moving from this shop down to there. We got 3 times the space. All right, we're going to go into time lapse. Catch you soon. All right. Okay, I want to bring you guys in close here. Make sure the microphone's on. Okay. All right, you should see all the water that's coming out of here. This is the driver's side. In order to get rid of everything, you have to get rid of everything. So anyway, watch the water come out of here. It's insane. These are full of water. You can see the water dripping down the back like a river. Let me clear this out of the way so I can show you guys. As it drains down the back, The shininess you're seeing is the water that's coming out of the foam. It's like a river. But you got to get it all out of here. So you can imagine this is up high. This isn't even where the major problem is. Look at the water sitting in here. The major problem is underneath the camera right now. This is just the back Swansons, whatever they call them. But look, it's solid water. Just solid water. Looks like a waterfall. This boat is going to be so light, so nimble on its feet. It's going to be actually perform like it did when it was brand new. See how waterlogged that is? It's just solid water coming out of there. Looks like a spring in the hillside. So anyway, we're going to get all this out of here. And this will get all new foam. Plus this will all be sealed, so water can never get back in here ever again. So a lot of this could come from sitting, could come from, just take small bites when you're doing this, just small, I keep hitting the microphone, but just small little bites. We'll get it out of there. Sorry for the audio, we got a new microphone, not used to it yet. It's really loud, but it'll make for better quality audio for sure. Look at this water. Look at that. It's just crazy. And some reason the mosquitoes want to fly around my head today. So I probably got a ton of mosquito bites. Bastards. They got nothing better to do than to bother me working on the boat. It's really warm today too. Yeah, so I just take it like that backwards. Clear it out. I got a mosquito flying around my face. I got to get rid of it. Whew. Now, you probably don't want to let this stuff land in your mouth.
It's cold. And that's what I call high quality H2O.
You know what I mean. See how much water though? So actually this side was more waterlogged than the passenger side as far as this back piece goes. But we're getting all this out of here. And then it'll get replaced with new foam. But it's important that you get it all out. See how thin that fiberglass is? It's just cracking. I'll lay new fiberglass, but I'm leaving it so I know where to put the Cusa board. Then once I place the Cusa board, then this piece will get cut out. We'll put a new piece of Cusa in this corner, which will actually cover this up. I feel really bad because if you ever have to replace this back eye hook, you could have never done it because the other bolts are in here. I mean, I guess you could have cut a hole and dug it out, but that'd be a pain in the butt. So, you know, if I just lay the Cusa in here and left this empty, it wouldn't affect it much. This much foam is not going to stop your boat from floating or sinking. In fact, as little foam that was in this boat, it would eventually sink. There's enough here to give you enough time to get a couple things important out, but that's about it. But anyway, we'll end up putting this foam in some garbage bags, and if there's a place I can recycle it, I will. If not, it'll go into the garbage can. And they do separate stuff here in this area, so these bags will just have the foam in them. So if they see the bag and it's got foam, maybe they'll separate it, so it doesn't end up in a landfill somewhere. But yeah, what I'll do is, ow, that hurt. And that felt like I got stung by a bee. So the fiberglass will get you. You got to be careful. See that? And then earlier, look. So you got to be careful around this stuff. So yeah, that's how you do it. And now this will have an opportunity to dry out. Let me see here. Let's back up, show you where we're at here. See where we're at in the back of the boat here? They got these back pockets. And then we've got the transom mostly dug out. We got a little bit of more wood to take out of here. This wood down here is stuck pretty good. Worst case scenario, we take a grinder to it. But I have a sharp chisel. And then one side has a digger edge. And so you just have to be careful not to go through the fiberglass of the boat. But if you just pay attention, you can do most of it by hand because this thing is very sharp. And then where it gets tougher, you can use a hammer. But you can see where I've got this digger, it makes it so I can get in the corner and get part of the wood started. And then end up stripping the wood off of this fiberglass, and then we'll take a grinder or a DA, and then we'll finish the rest off so we can get a good bond when we go to do the Coosa board back here. So we're going to end up pretty good back here. The floor, I'm going to try to pull the floor up today, and then tomorrow I'll try to get these squares. I'm going to try and pull these squares. So since it's wet, sometimes you can get the foam to come up with the wood. So that's what I'm after here. I'd like these big boxes to come out as one unit. Not only that, it'd be a lot less mess, but at the same time, it's going to save a lot of time if they all come out as one big piece. I'll try to pull that off, but I'm going to have to cut along here, cut along there, get it loose, cut down here now that this piece is gone, and try, like I said, to remove it as one piece. That would help me. And then all we'll have left after we get the floor moved out and these two big boxes, then we'll just have that middle, you can't even call that a stringer, but it's basically a middle floor support. But we're going to duplicate it with 1 inch of Coosa, which will be 2 half-inch pieces molded together, and then we'll 1708 it to the middle of the boat. That's going to take a lot of prep work down the middle of the boat. These will all be Coosa, where we're taking these boxes out. This will be Coosa. Transom will be Coosa. We're going to run 2 layers of half-inch, and then actually I'm going to run 3 layers of half-inch, and by the time I end up fiberglassing this, it'll be 2 inches thick, which the customer might have to get longer bolts for the bottom because the bottom had shorter bolts in it. The top should be fine because we'll be at the same exact depth as it was. It measured like 1 3/4 inches. And then we're going to run that little shelf like they had. And in this case, it'll just be kind of cosmetic. And what we're going to do next is, if you see this mess we got going here, we're going to pick all this up and put it in a bag first. And then we're going to pull this. I've already got it cut out. And we'll see if we can pull this whole entire floor all the way up to the nose, a big diamond pointy shape. And then we'll probably tackle these squares. What I mean by these squares is this square and that square. They have foam underneath. And then the hull of the boat runs kind of on an angle, so there's not that much foam in there. I'll put you guys on a time lapse while I clean up this foam and put it in a bag, and then we're going to jump on this front piece. All right, we got it cleaned up a little bit. We emptied out these side pockets. We have a full bag. This bag weighs a good at least 35-40 pounds full of water. I might try to pull this up after I dump all of this. This is all that stuff. Look at this. It's all rotten. Garbage can full, trash bag full, and we don't even have half of it out yet. So anyway, we'll pull this. See, it's all rotten under here. It's totally rotten. It's just flappy and rotten. So anyway, we'll tackle most of this tomorrow, but I might try to get this triangle up tonight. We'll see if it's attached very well or not. So anyway, we're gonna throw this in the garbage can. Garbage got to go out tonight, so I'll sweep this up, put this in there, and then yeah, we'll wrap it up and go grab some dinner. Going on to the 7th night of working on the 21-foot Bumblebee. Alright, let's see how much of this floor we might be able to get out of here. Look how wet that is. Yikes. Yikes. That's wet, wet. We're gonna set this on this side of the boat. Alrighty then. And then this piece is a little more stuck. What's up? Day in the life fiberglass guy. What's happening? You know, tearing the floor out. Huh? No. You don't want none of this. You be itching. You be cussing my name. The gym. Woo! There we go. Woo! That's the thing dreams are made of right there.
You're right.
It is completely rotten. And those are full of water. Those back pieces I took out is full of water back way up there, way up high.
What's full of water?
The foam that was back here, all that foam's full.
Oh, wait. That's foam. I see it now. I'm sorry.
It was back here too, full. And it's full of water. Solid wet. You push on it, it's like a lake. That's about 400 pounds of water. Back here too, this is all foam, full of water. In order for it to be back in here in these, all that has to be plumb full to push the water up into this back.
So what you gotta do?
Pull it all out. Yeah, pull it all out. Pull all the, you know the other boat where I did the
yes.
stringers? This has half-inch stringer, half-inch stringer, half-inch stringer. Only this tall. The singer one goes all the way to the front, and then that all gets Coosa board where it was wood, just like the old boat, the boat that was here. It's only 4 feet wide, and then
So nothing up under here.
no, I'll cut this back to here, right to here,
Yeah.
and then this will just get glass over the top of the Coosa board. Well, it is definitely rotten all the way through. It is definitely full of water all the way up. And as you can see, like I pointed out before, a lot of the reason a lot of this is failing is nothing is wrapped. And anytime you expose any moisture, wood's going to expand. So as you can see, they just didn't cover anything. Of course, they probably didn't expect someone to hold on to a boat for 24 years, 25 years. There's a little bit of remnants of wood left over, which I just take a sharp chisel and slowly, just carefully, methodically go at it, taking the wood off, layer by layer, being careful not to get into the fiberglass, and then we will grind this down. But we've got a lot of wood to remove before that all happens. We'll take that wood out in chunks. And what's funny is the more this dries, the easier it is to take up. For some reason when it's wet, it wants to just stay put. But there'll be a lot of taking these boxes apart tomorrow. And then I'm gonna fabricate a tool that goes to my drill so I can get all that wet foam out of there. The garbage truck comes tomorrow, which is a good thing because between these two boxes and all that foam up front, that'll fill the garbage can again. I don't use too much garbage here, so not a huge deal. Now at least I can measure how much Coosa board I'm going to need Friday. Friday I'm going to go down south and get my Coosa board. But now I have everything exposed, which is what I needed to do. These stringers here go all the way up to the 16-foot mark, but up there they're only 3 inches tall. When they get back here, they go to 6 inches tall. Then this back here is 21 inches tall. So those will be fiberglass together. I'll bring the short runs to there. Then once I get to here, I'll overlap on the side of that one. Something they didn't do. It'll also add a lot of structure, strength. And then I'll build this middle out of 2 half-inch pieces. That's 3/4, but we're gonna do 1 inch down the middle. And the middle will go all the way up to the keel. And that's an 18.5-foot piece in the middle, this piece here that you're seeing. I'm going to bring it back to here. I don't know why it's missing right there. This pad right here is for the bilge. So we'll clean that up, and it's so you can run a screw through it. But we'll clean all this up tomorrow after we do all the taking out of everything. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna bring this back here because to me, this is a good structure piece. The floor goes across the middle there. But yeah, pretty much that's a full day of just never quitting. And then I'll put a new Coosa board pad for the hot foot. It's on an angle. You kind of want that to be straight. So I'll make sure it's straight when I put mine in there. I'm gonna mark where that is from the box. I'll do that here pretty soon. In fact, I might as well document that now. So let me take you off of here. Hang on 1 second. All right, so we're gonna measure. All right, so off the front of this box, because we already have the measurements of all the boxes. So off the front of the box to the back of the wood for the hot foot is right around between 29.5 to 30.5. So let's just call it 30 inches. All right, we're gonna call it 30 inches. And then that piece of wood seems like it is 15 inches long. All right, so 15 inches long, and its width, see how it's on an angle? Look at it's on an angle. We're gonna make sure it's level. And so the width is kind of, it's tapered. So the back of it's 7.5 and the front of it is 7. So it's kind of tapered, but we'll do the same thing, but we're gonna make this level. Look at all this glue. Look at all this glue they use around here. Crazy. It's just kind of a weird glue. It's kind of just puddled up. Anyway, look at this old grub. Gosh, that's crazy. How it got under there, it had to have floated up underneath the water that was under that wood, and then it was squished. See that? I'm a survivor. I'm just kidding. That's funny. All right, so we just documented that. So we're gonna need a 15-inch piece that's 7.5 wide. And we'll, like I said, we'll lay that out of Kusa. We'll put 1708 on both sides, along with a layer of chop strand to remount the hot foot. And I'll make sure it's right there in that same location. The main thing is you want to make sure that you don't drill through the bottom of your boat. So that's why they put that there. But anyway, it seems like it's, well, let's measure the height of that thing. I would say it's 2 inches tall. So we'll make sure that we go 2 1/4 on the height, so that way we know the screw's got plenty of space when we put a hot foot back in it.